Hi, these videos that I'm going to create are for the CS313 class that I teach. I'm using a Gaddis book for Visual Studio or Visual C Sharp version 2022 is what I'm using on this. So the first thing we want to do is go ahead and get this started up. Now, I do not have this put in my startup window here, so I'm going to have to go through and scroll down to the and Visual Studio 2022. This opened up here. So when this first opens up, it starts up with this getting started screen. And if you have already written or started a program, you can open it up here. What I normally do is click on continue without code so I can start it from the main window here. And we're just going to go through some features and stuff on this. So we're going to create a new project. And to do that from here, I'm going to go to File, and then New, and then slide over to Project. So it's going to come up with this window here. And I want to do this as a the Windows Forms app.NET framework for C Sharp. So that's what I'm going to want here. So click on Next, and then you get the Configure Your New Project window. Okay, so let me get set up here with what I'm doing. Now, it may be showing you some different windows in the book because it just comes up different on there. What we want to do is give it a project name, and I'm going to call it My First Project. Okay. Once you get that in there, the next thing we're going to want to do is specify where we're going to save it. Okay. You don't want to let it save it where it has it in here. Now this would work for me because it's in my CS313 folder, but normally it's not going to do that. It's going to go to its default folder, and if you do that, then when you get ready to turn your program in, because you have to get the entire program and zip it and send it in, when you do that, it doesn't get everything in there because it's using things that are already there. So I'm going to go in my chapter 1 folder here. I've already got a first program there, but I'm calling this one my first project. So this will work in here. So I'm going to go ahead and select the folder for my chapter 1. Okay. I don't want to change the .NET framework here, so I'm going to leave that the same. And then I'm going to click on Create. It'll take it a minute to generate this. And here we go. Okay, so here's our main window that we're going to be working with. Now I've got a bigger monitor, and so it comes up and says the scaling on your main display is set at 125. I like to do mine at 100%, okay, instead of the 125%. So I'm going to click on this to restart this, and hopefully this works. Sometimes it doesn't. And there we go. So I can go ahead and click this off to get rid of this over here. If I don't do that, and I create it in here, going between the 100, 125, the buttons and other things that you put on here get moved out of place, and doesn't look really good. So you have to go in and change things on there. Okay, the other thing is we don't have any of our toolboxes over here, so we got to show those. So I'm going to go to View, and I need to have my Solution Explorer. So that's that window there. And then the other one I need is my properties. And then there's the properties window down here. Those are the basic ones that we need over here on this side. Our toolbox is over here. Okay, this is where we're going to get all of our different controls that we're going to put on our form here. Okay, so now that I have all that opened up on there, the next thing we're going to do is make sure that we have it saved and close it. So I'm going to go to File and Save All. And then I'm going to go to File and Close Solution. Closes it off, and it comes back to here. Okay. Now, it comes up here. I can go ahead and click on that, but like I said, I normally close this off and open it from File. It's just the way that I like to do it. So you can pick the way you want. So the Project Solution is what you're going to open. Okay. Now it's going to its default place here, so I've got to go to where I have this saved out here. And I don't know if it put it, I don't think it put it in the right place for me. Let's see. Yep, right there, my first project. I did have the right place. And then what you always want to open up is the SLN. And there we are. Okay. So hopefully you were able to follow through with all that. Okay, so now let's talk about the environment here that we have. Okay, we already opened up the Solution Explorer window. This shows you all the information, all the different things that are available in here, and we'll get into that stuff as we go along. This one down here is the Properties window, and this talks about the different properties. So right now, here's the form. So you click off of it. Come on, click off. And so this is talking about the form. Right now it has the size, 816 by 489. Text would be what goes up here on the title bar, and it's at Form 1 right now. So normally what you do when you create a project is you would put in a new name for that. On the other side, like I said, is the toolbox, and that has all the different things that we would put in here. Text boxes, buttons, labels, and we'll get into all this as we go along through the course. Now the other thing on these boxes here, and normally I don't mess with these because you can hide them and move them around, but I like to keep them in the same place. But on the toolbox, we can click on this little pin up here, and if we click on that, then that will lock it in place. Now that's nice when you're first starting off to put stuff in here, but notice that you kind of close down the amount of room that you have to work on your window. So most of the time I leave it unpinned, and then I just go to it when I need it and open it up and get what I need out of it. So it gives me more room on here. Okay, so let's go on here and see what other things we're going to do with this one. I think that was it. Yep, that was it. So that takes care of chapter 1 in the book. Next lecture we'll continue, or next video we'll start with chapter 2. So hopefully you got some information out of this and you got ready to get started with this. Bye.